The Memory Corridor. Just quickly before episode 2 of The Memory Corridor here starts, I just quickly want all of you to know that there are actually timestamps in the description below that you can use to jump around in the podcast in this episode. And the reason why I'm saying it here is because I forgot to say it during the recording of this episode. You don't have to use them, it was just if you don't want to listen to the entire thing in one take, you can use the timestamps to jump around, as I have highlighted different highlights of the podcast with the timestamps. Enjoy the episode. Hello Assassins, Gustav also known as Gargudon here, and welcome to episode 2 of the Assassin's Creed podcast, The Memory Corridor. Just like last time, for episode 1, this podcast is hosted by me, and for each episode, I have a guest who will be discussing a topic regarding Assassin's Creed with me. And for today's topic, we have got Assassin's Creed Beyond Games, which yes, is a very interesting and wide and big topic. And for today's guest, we have my very good friend Colin Blackett, also known as Col_96 on different social media. Say hi, Col.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
No problem. As I said, Col is a very good friend of mine, and we talk a lot about Assassin's Creed, and he's a dedicated fan, so finally having him here on the podcast is, as a guest, is my genuine pleasure. And now, just to those who might not know about you, tell the audience a bit about yourself and the awesome things you do here in the AC community.
So, I'm an Assassin's Creed community ambassador, and I run an Assassin's Creed fan community with two friends called The Ones Who Came Before.
Yeah, one of those guys is the guy who has also designed my channel GFX and the logo you see in the beginning of the video, Irakli. So yeah, he's an awesome guy. As you can hear, Col, he does some awesome things here in the community, which I can only recommend checking out if you haven't already. But all things aside, links to Col's social media pages and The Ones Who Came Before will be in the description below should you be interested in checking that out. And as I said, it's only something I can recommend. But now let's kick off today's topic discussion, and once again, today's topic is Assassin's Creed Beyond Games. So, the reason why I thought of this topic was because Assassin's Creed is a massive universe that also expands beyond the main games. And I feel like I wanted to dig deeper into that. For example, we have a good amount of comic books like Last Descendants and Templars, and then we also have movies, short movies like AC Embers, Lineage, and of course, the full-length AC movie coming out this December. And I feel like this is a great way to make the AC universe more diverse and wide, and not only as a story, but let alone as a game and franchise, in my opinion. And it's also a great way to tell more stories, maybe even till the end of a story like Assassin's Creed Embers does with Ezio in his final days. Story endings we don't see in-game. Now, today we're going to dig deeper into the trend of expansions in general, how it works, and how it could be expanded even further. But before we kick this off for real, do you have anything to say or ask, Col? Maybe why you chose the topic for this episode? And to the guests, I actually let him choose the topic for this episode. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I just think the Assassin's Creed community is so varied and diverse these days. It's on many different platforms, and I just think each and every platform, it looks at Assassin's Creed in a different light. It's a new take on it, and I just thought it'd be interesting to look at how the games and other media are now a big source of enjoyment for fans.
Yeah, and that is just like the reason, let alone for me loving the Assassin's Creed community compared to like other game communities where, the things take place in game. Like here it also takes place in the real world. But we're gonna dig deeper into that in just a second. And as I also said before, I let Cole choose the topic for this episode, and that is something I'm going to try and do for each episode. I'm going to try and let the guest choose the topic, and I'm going to do that really just because I feel like that's an awesome thing to do, and it can make me approach the episode completely different compared to when I choose the topic. And it might also make the guest feel that much more at home during the episode and topic discussion. So yeah. Now, just before we kick this off, I just quickly want to say that, today, the topic discussion is going to be happening in a slight different way than it did last time. And when I say this, I mean that today Col has actually made the questions for me, and I'm going to be answering them instead of me having made them to the guest and asking them to the guest. And the reason for this is really just that I feel like this might be a topic where my knowledge isn't that strong, but with Col, it's the exact opposite. So yeah. Alright then, but now it is question time, and time to kick off this discussion for real. So, what is the first question you have for me, Carl?
So, my first question is, would you like to see another platform, such as Assassin's Creed Initiates, return to the franchise?
Assassin's Creed Initiates, what was it exactly that was?
So, it was like an online platform.
Oh, that's right.
It was like I wouldn't say a game, but it was like a data mining platform that fans could use to dig deeper into the Assassin's Creed world.
Oh yeah, I might have heard of it. Yeah, it was also in Unity, I think.
Yeah.
AC Initiates and everything. So the question is if I would like to see kind of more interact with the game platforms.
Yeah.
That could be pretty cool. Now that you say it, I remember you had that Abstergo card made.
Right. Yeah.
Perhaps maybe an Abstergo website. Maybe it already exists. News, everything, stocks, things like that. Kind of try and make a real website of what Abstergo would be in the AC universe. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. And if fans could get their own ID card or something,
Yeah,
or a sign in or login method, so it could feel like they're a member of Abstergo, and then they could decrypt the files or something, like a platform like that. It's really immersive for the fans.
I mean, now that you say it, I think I read something with Watch Dogs 2 that there was a fictional Twitter or blog or something that was supposed to be DeadSec's blog. Kind of just turned that into Abstergo or an Assassin Initiates network. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd definitely be really interesting.
It would. And I mean, there might be more than Abstergo, but I just really can't think of what it would be. But yeah, other than that, it could be pretty cool. Really, try to make fictional websites that in the real world that represents the events of the game, and that could also, with Abstergo in general, we haven't seen a lot to Abstergo in the past few previous games, so kind of follow up on a bunch of events. Maybe that could also then lead up to the next game and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, let alone, I feel like modern day, it needs a serious revival. So that could be pretty cool. I think there might have been Assassin's Creed or something, a website leading up to the game. That might just be me, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, they do often do these, promotional websites. I can remember for Black Flag, there was a thing. It was an online platform where you could share fan art, content, videos, things like that. It was a bit similar to Assassin's Creed Council, which is around these days. But the idea was that you created content and put it in this one place.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about a movie where you could read these things leading up to the events of the movie. So yeah, that was really just that. So let's just say, all in all, it could be pretty cool making an Abstergo Industries website that would keep you up to date with everything in the modern day between the assassins and the Templars. Because I don't know, but I know you read the comic books a lot. I haven't read anything yet, but how much does that focus on the modern day?
I would say the majority is actually modern day in the comics right now.
Yeah, wasn't Galena in the main person in one of them? Yeah.
Galena, Charlotte de la Cruz, loads of new characters. They're really expanding upon the modern day in the comics right now.
I mean, I don't know too much about the comics, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But if there are any young modern day assassins, I'm thinking it could be cool if they brought those into the game and you play as them in third person, just like we did with Desmond back in the day.
Yeah, that'd be great, actually.
Because, as I said, the modern day needs a serious revival.
Yeah, I think it's the direction more than anything right now. There's just a lot of ideas and everything that need to be placed together or somehow brought together so it feels like the modern day is an immersive experience again.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Marc-Alex Cote, he said last year that they were bringing modern day back to Syndicate. I was like, yes! I was so excited. And then it really just falls flat on its face. 10 minutes, and you don't even get to play. It's really just these cutscenes. It was a good story and everything, don't get me wrong. And I even thought, when I completed Syndicate, crap, did Rebecca die there or something?
Yeah.
but it's just we need a serious revival, and already have like these ideas and stuff for a modern day. Perhaps isn't there a ship called the Altair
Yeah.
the Second? Sure, like maybe it takes place on that, and you're always like on the water, and you can like spend time out of the animals, like fixing parts of the ship, and then you can go back to the animals when it be. And the classic team, maybe Sean and Rebecca, and then Bishop, throw her in there along with whoever you're playing as.
William Miles and all them.
Yeah, William Miles.
Gavin
Yeah,
Banks.
we need him as well. Yeah, Gavin. I don't know him like that well. So like seeing him in a game could be pretty cool. But yeah, also William. We really need to see William again, in my opinion. We haven't seen him since AC3, and he's just a big character.
He's definitely a really interesting character that could be expanded upon.
Definitely. So yeah. I think we're getting too much into like a modern day thing, a topic for itself. So you know what? Let's just wrap this up and jump ahead to the next question.
Yeah.
Right. What's the second question?
So, I wanted to look at Assassin's Creed more than just the universe. I wanted to look at the community in general.
Yeah.
So, my question for you is, in your time in the Assassin's Creed community, where have you mostly spent your time? So, which platform?
Oh, I'd say I definitely spend a lot of time on Twitter, and like I follow the events there and everything. And then I, of course, also follow the events on things like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. But I mostly keep up to date on everything on Twitter. Follow the community managers and see like what goes on there and there, different events and everything. That's definitely like how I keep up to date with everything.
Okay, that's interesting because, as you know, Assassin's Creed is on all sorts of platforms, and within our varied community, we have like pockets of other communities. So, for example, within the Assassin's Creed community, we have content creators, we have artists, we have cosplayers, merchandise collectors, all sorts. It's such a massive community full of talent.
Yes, and if I should like place myself in a category with what I'm doing now, I don't know, put myself under the YouTuber section. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just what I love. Cosplay as well. Because I don't know how good you know it, but a community also like a game community I follow pretty good there and there is like the Grand Theft Auto 5 community, and that is great. And I remember like not more than 2 years ago, I was like really into that. That was also before I got into Assassin's Creed. But now when I look at it, it's kind of just like, and the community is definitely awesome, but now I'm really just kind of, when I compare it to the AC community, it's just like the AC community, it takes much more place, as I also said earlier, in the real world. Cosplay, even like short films and stuff, fan-made short films and everything, and that's just what I love. Devin Supertramp, for example, that guy who does the parkour videos, and also pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I think it was called Assassin's Creed Checkmate. It was like a little Black Flag short film.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, I think it's been taken down, but you should check that out later if you can. Like with
good.
Edward and everything. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, it's definitely like I may have kept up to date on the things like other than Twitter, but then I just can't remember it. But no matter what, yeah, I follow the community managers like closely on different social media, and I think that's a great way to like know what's going on and everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now we're going to, it just happened to Fan Expo Canada. Now we're going to Comic Con and these cosplay meetups, and it's just awesome. And then of course the codex on the Assassin's Creed YouTube channel. Of course I use that to stay up to date on everything.
Yeah, that's really, really talented. Like
Yeah.
I actually got the chance to meet the guys putting the codex together, and they're really focused. Like the interviews, all the ideas and everything. It's really well put together and organized.
And that's just what I love about not only the Assassin's Creed team, but Ubisoft in general. Like, they make like a lot, out of a game. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but they just do a lot out of it, and that's what I love. They really focus on their fans, and
Yeah, definitely.
I just love them for that. So yeah. No, do you have anything to add to this?
Just wanted to say that
Yeah.
My experience as a Ubisoft star player recently, you can see that Ubisoft cares so much about the fans, the amount of time and effort they put in to keeping everyone happy. They do so much.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, I don't know, but like visiting Ubisoft Montreal or something like that one day, like that could be just awesome. And I'm sure, you know, if it's like people like who do a lot of things in the community or just like super hardcore fans, you know, I'm sure, you know, they embrace them and just like are super thankful for what they do.
Yeah.
I also remember I saw some people like write recently like one of the best things is like seeing the fans write their opinions about the stuff we work on, and I can only imagine that like you know, getting feedback, positive feedback is always awesome. So definitely, yeah. Now, shall we skip to the next question? If you have any more. Sure.
So my next question is, if you can think of a couple of things that Assassin's Creed has given you, what would they be?
Oh, where should I start here? A bigger history knowledge is definitely something I can say.
That's a good one.
Everything, and that is what I love about it. And then it has also definitely, taught me things about characters here and there. It can help me become in a certain mood if I'm like in the mood for Black Flag, because like the reason why, for example, Black Flag, I love that so much, and that's the reason for that being my favorite in the series is just like because of the world ambience. It's like whenever it's like maybe sunny outside, I'm home alone, you know, a game of Black Flag can always cheer me up. And they're just masters of that, like putting the ambience into the game with also with the music and everything. So yeah, it has given me like experiences, knowledge, and just like more to think about. Like sometimes on and off when I'm bored, like, you know, I think of stories like, oh, that could make a pretty awesome story, even like make up a few dialogues. So yeah, it has just given me a lot. Like I don't even know where to start, and also given me an interest in maybe purchasing certain clothing and different merchandise. So
Yeah, definitely.
like I don't have that much, but like when I was in Italy, I bought like already 2 T-shirts and like 2 necklaces,
Nice.
just because like, oh, I must have that. So yeah. It has given me a lot, and also like knowledge in music and everything, like historical music. For example, Black Flag, it has taught me like so many like Irish sea shanties, which I just love. Like some of them are well written, and The Parting Glass is like one of my favorite songs, to be honest. You know, the one from Black Flag.
Hey, I know it.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
amazing.
I'm not gonna sing it for you.
Let's just get Ed Sheeran to do that or something. But yeah, it has just given me a lot, like emotional moments, like memorable moments, and history knowledge. It has just given me a lot, and I'm sure it'll only be something that'll keep on growing in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like this is a brand that can give you a lot. You can get a lot out of it if you put a lot of time in.
definitely.
So for me, like for example, like I never expected anything like what I've had. I mean, I was invited to Germany, invited to London. I never expected anything at all like this when I started playing the games. But it's just amazing. It's really opened doors, like giving me the chance to travel. I've met people. I've met so many amazing people on my Assassin's Creed journey. It's just so hard to pin down.
Definitely. And now that you mention it like that, like hadn't it been for Assassin's Creed, I mean, we wouldn't be talking now. I mean, I remember like it was when I was like way younger. It was like 7 years ago. Like I did YouTube, but it wasn't like, you know, I didn't really do it with that much enthusiasm. And I always thought like, oh, gaming. I play video games now. Everyone does videos with it. That could be awesome doing too. And then just because Assassin's Creed is what it is, I just thought like making this would be awesome. So it has definitely also given me an opportunity to make something unique that I think is just awesome, and that'll only keep growing in the future. That's really all I can say to this.
Yeah.
So anything else? Any other questions, or shall we shortly wrap this up?
Yeah, I think I've got one more, and that's
One more.
What are you
I
most looking
have
forward
three.
to about the upcoming Assassin's Creed movie?
What I'm looking the most forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just looking forward to a lot of things. I'm definitely excited, and there's also been a lot about that. If this is gonna, revolutionize the whole video game movie universe, because we've had a lot of video game movies which hasn't got that positive reviews. Like even Warcraft earlier this year only had like 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. And a lot of times it's really just because that is based off the game or the story in the game. But with Assassin's Creed, they're kind of like making a new story based on the story from the games. So I'm definitely excited to see how it's gonna work out. And if it's a movie, that everybody can enjoy, or this is like a movie for the fans of the franchise. I kind of have more faith in the second one. But it's still a good question. And then I'm also just looking forward to what's his name, Justin Kurzel's directing, and Michael Fassbender's performance. I mean, I love him already in the X-Men movies and everything, so I'm definitely excited to see how he's gonna do as an assassin. It's just gonna be interesting. And then I'm also very excited to see how many game references we're gonna have. I remember I talked about that, or I thought about that, I'm sure other people have talked about it as well, Ezio cameo. It's probably not gonna happen, but could it happen?
I can't say anything.
1500. It's a good question, and who would play him, or if just he'll be mentioned. I'm just excited to see how it's gonna expand the franchise and just the video game movie genre in general.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to watch it, no matter if it'll be in December or January. So yeah.
But it's certainly going to push the modern day in a new direction, I can tell you that.
Definitely. And it's the main actors, the main roles, they are in the modern day section. Marion Cotillard and Jeremy Irons and those guys. It's definitely going to be interesting. And then Alan Rickman, we haven't seen him in the games a lot, have we? From what I know, he's only in the first game for a minute or something.
Yeah, if that actually was him, because there's some speculation over whether that actually is Alan Rickman.
But it's just awesome because, Alan Rickman, from what I know, he's the CEO, the boss, the number one boss of Abstergo Industries.
That's it, yeah, he's the face of the company.
So, maybe we've seen people like Warren Vidic and stuff like that, but, he was just an employee. So I'm definitely excited also to see maybe how radical he'll be as a character. Because we can definitely agree the Templars have always been radical in their views and everything. And then also what's her name, Sophia Rickman, her role, she's working at her father's company, but then what are they really trying to do? And if they'll end up making, and I'm even excited now that I think of it, if we could eventually see maybe a Desmond and Lucy thing between Callum and Sophia. That could definitely
possible, yeah.
be interesting now that I think of it. And also, if they have plans expanding the franchise as a movie, a trilogy, which I heard some people talk about. And but yeah, all in all, I'm just excited for Michael Fassbender and the movie in general. So yeah. But is that all the questions you have?
Yeah, that's all the questions I have.
I just have a one question for you. And that is, as I said in the beginning of the episode, sometimes with the short films we've had, Embers in specific, that wraps up a story that we didn't see in game, Ezio's story, after Revelations, what he did there, and his final days, is he a happy man, did he die as a happy man, things like that. So my question to you is, if you could pick out a story from one of the Assassin's Creed games that you would like to see, wrapped up in a short film, like Embers, what would it be?
That's a good question.
Because we also, heard, or I'll let you talk first, sorry.
I was going to say Shay would be very interesting, but then again, I'm thinking of Connor and Arno as well, so...
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
hard to pick.
That's what me and James, we talked about in episode 1 last time a lot. Those three characters and that era, Because, Connor, you heard, we talked a lot about what happened to Connor, what happened to Shay, what happened to Arno. I'm thinking it's just their stories. They're their final stories, because they're relatively young when we see their stories wrapped up. Or shit, he's 40, but still, they still have game potential. Ezio in Revelations, he's 53. He can't fight anymore and stuff. And so yeah, it's definitely the I feel like it has to be a character in the story that is not too good for a game. And this can be told in a movie in an action-packed way. I feel like Edward, maybe, now that I look at a picture here of him.
Yeah?
Because after the end of Black Flag, he only lived 13 years after that. He died very young. Rest in peace, Edward. And yeah, we had that post credit scene in at the end of Black Flag in 1733. With Hatham and everything, and Edward there. So definitely maybe a short film with I don't know, maybe the final days of Edward Kenway, maybe the final years, maybe. Maybe it picks up there where Black Flag really ends, that post-credit scene, 1733, and then maybe a 45-minute film. We just, see the final days of him, final years of him, what he's up to, and maybe learn about a bit more about his legacy. You know what I mean?
Have you read the Black Flag novel?
I haven't. I feel like I should do that.
That's really worth checking out if you get a chance.
Yeah, does that also talk about after the game and everything?
Yeah. It looks at Edward's parents as well, so it really gives you a true picture of what was going on.
Before the game?
You get Edward before the game, why he became an adventurer in the first place, and then after the game, the relationship between Edward and his mother. It's really cutting. You should read that.
Oh, I think they had that in a comic book store in Florence, where I picked up my stuff. Oh, I should have brought it.
It's really
Should have
good.
bought it. Yeah, I'll just pick that up on Amazon or something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, plus I am a sloppy reader, I guess. But I guess this could this could be something. But definitely but you say it explores Edward before the game. I definitely also want to check him out after the game and maybe his legacy, because that is a thing. Hatham, he was trained and raised as an assassin, by an assassin father, but then he just ends up becoming a Templar. And also with Jennifer, I read some things about her giving things to Elise, when Jennifer is old and on her deathbed. There are definitely stories, and that's also what I talked about in episode 1. Kind of around there, the late 1700s, Elise, Jennifer, Arno. There's so much we haven't explored, and it's a good question, because that's also it. Assassin's Creed is such a massive universe. Maybe some of it will have to be in books or something. It's a good question. So all in all, what stories would you like to see wrapped up in a short movie? You said Shay, right?
I think Shay would be really interesting, just because after the end of Rogue, the start of Unity, and then we don't really know much about him after that.
Yeah, I just say in my personal opinion, Shay, he's better for a game, because Connor, the end of Rogue, end of AC3, they're squeezed together, they're very close to each other. So maybe a game that explores Connor's afterlife and then Shay's, and he eventually dies there, and then maybe also, I don't know, throw Arno in there, the visit to the States. That could just be great. But yeah, in my opinion, if we saw a short film, a CG short film, I'd like to see definitely Edward's afterlife, or that squeezed into a novel. So yeah. Now, anything else to say or ask before we wrap this up?
Just one last thing. I wanted to say Have you ever gone to like an event such as MCM Comic Con and met like voice actors in real?
How did you say it? I haven't done it yet, but I just saw on Facebook that Ubisoft Nordic, which I follow, that Comic Con is actually coming to like Copenhagen in like 2 weeks, and Ubisoft will be there with Watch Dogs 2 and everything. No Assassin's Creed, unfortunately, but hell, I can always do that another time.
Yeah, I highly recommend it because when you meet the voice actors in real life, they are so interested in the franchise still.
You met Paul and Victoria, didn't you?
Yeah, I met Paul, Victoria, Cassandra.
Like, I haven't met them, but like Victoria has retweeted my tweets a couple times. She just looks like a nice person. And
yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, I mean, Watch Dogs 2 is something I'm pretty excited for as well. I'm definitely going to see about tickets to that. Like, this is just like more a Ubisoft event than AC event, but hell, I definitely want to try out San Diego Comic Con someday with the where Assassin's Creed are there with their challenge parkour courses and everything.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try that out.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then also just all in all, I haven't gone to like any events yet, but I'm definitely gonna see about Comic-Con Copenhagen here, and then definitely some Assassin's Creed stuff one day. So yeah. All right. So that pretty much sums it up for this episode. I want to thank everyone for watching and listening to this episode of The Memory Corridor, and I hope every single one of you enjoyed listening to me and Carl discuss this topic as much as we enjoyed discussing it. To stay up to date on everything The Memory Corridor and more things Assassin's Creed, like my Assassin's Creed photography I call #Creedography, links to my Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat as well, where you can find some awesome entertainment on and off, will be in the description below should you be interested in checking that out, along with links to Carl's social media pages and the ones who came before, as I said in the beginning of the episode. And Snapchat isn't necessarily related to Assassin's Creed, but what do you use Snapchat for even? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. Now, if you guys have any feedback and or topic ideas, feel more than free to leave it in the comment section below, as it will probably go a long way in the process of making these episodes, not only for myself, but probably for you lovely people as well. Now, once again, thanks times infinity for watching and listening, everyone. I hope to see you again for future episodes, and until those come out, stay safe, everyone, and keep this amazing community what it is. And I say that with the heart, since that is pretty much what we've just talked about for the past half hour. Yeah, and finally, also huge thanks to Mr. Colin Blackett for being on the episode. I hope you enjoyed discussing this topic with me, and I also hope to see you again on the podcast another time.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. It was an absolute blast having you, and thanks once again. And that pretty much sums it up for this episode of The Memory Corridor. Stay safe and active, everyone. See you later, Assassins. Peace.